Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. I'm telling you, if y'all don't come to peace and quiet after the second time, I'm getting Joe Parker up here. I don't think you want that. Nobody wants to see that. It is so good to see all of you here. You are the hardy ones who said, come rain or snow or whatever's going to happen on Sunday morning, I'm coming to church, and you're here. And I suspect that there is another group of you who would be here, but just decided this morning, it's too cold, it's rainy, I am going to check this out from the couch. Welcome. We're so glad that all of you are here in the room, online, in spirit. So let's do what we do each week before we get started and come to presence. And I invite you. Joe is present. Joe Farmer is present. Could you hear that? I invite you to take a few deep breaths. The kind of deep breaths that help you slow down things in your body and in your atmosphere, so that you can be here now. And I invite you to respond to the words that I'm about to say with the words that are for you here on the screen. Come as you are, aching, tired, joyful, or seeking. Here we are woven together in love. Set down what you carry and let this be a place of rest. Here we are held in hope and mercy. Be present to yourself, to each other, and to the divine life that flows through all things. Here we find the common thread of divine life that connects us all. This common thread of divine life in which we live and move and have our being, our God, who is lover, beloved, and love overflowing. Amen.
I could show you, when you are lonely or in darkness, the astonishing light of your own being.
Oh, gather up the brokenness and bring it to me now. The fragrance of those promises you never dared to vow. The splinters that you carry, the cross you left behind. Come, healing of the body. Come, healing of the mind, and let the heavens hear it, the penitential hymn. Come, healing of the spirit. come healing of the limb. Behold the gates of mercy in arbitrary space, and none of us deserving of the cruelty or the grace. O solitude of longing, where love has been confined, come healing of the body, come healing of the mind. Oh, see the darkness yielding that tore the light apart, come healing of the reason, come healing of the heart. O troubled dust concealing an undivided love, the heart beneath is teaching to the broken heart above. And let the heavens falter, and let the earth proclaim, come healing of the altar, come healing of the name. O longing of the branches to lift the little bud, O longing of the arteries to purify the blood, and let the heavens hear it, the penitential hymn, come healing of the spirit, come healing of the limb, and let the heavens hear it, the penitential hymn, come healing of the body, come healing of the limb.
Good morning, and welcome to Common Thread. My name is Carol, and I have been a part of Common Thread for about 2 years now. And when I was asked, when asked how I could contribute to our community, I felt drawn to help out as part of the Sunday service. So welcome. If you are a newcomer or an old-timer, someone who's been here a short while, or someone who came in times past, if you found us online or stumbled in from the street, whoever you are and no matter what brought you here today, you belong, and we are so happy to have you with us this morning, especially in this cold, wet morning. If you want to know more about us, just click this QR code and we'll send you a zero pressure email with more information, including the option to connect with a live human being if you want. Which, if you really want to know what we are about, this is the best way to go to get a first-hand account of what this place is really like, where we shine, where we fall short, but mostly how transformation is the aim wherever each of us is on our spiritual journey. Knowing that making that journey together takes us farther than we could ever go on our own. So welcome. And even more heartfelt welcome if you are here and having a hard time today. In our culture, it's our inclination to isolate when the going gets tough. But we know that standing with each other on our rough days is an act of solidarity, an act of love, and part of what makes our personal and collective transformation possible. So each Sunday down the hall, we have a listener who is willing to hold space for us when we are having a challenging time. If you need an ear to listen, a shoulder to cry on, or just a different perspective through which to look at your struggles, head down to the library head to the library down the hall, and someone will be there to hold space for you. And at any time, you can always go to this URL to request support through our community care team. Morgan leads that effort, and if you let her know what's up, she'll get you pointed in the right direction. And now, let's say together, as we do each week, if you are here, you belong.
If you are here, you belong.
We are, every one of us, carriers of the inner light.
We are, every one of us, carriers of the inner light.
And we are, every one of us, carriers of divine breath.
We are, every one of us, carriers of divine breath.
And as fellow carriers of divine light and divine breath, I invite you all to stand and greet each other.
Joe, I've mostly already forgotten, so I promise to try. Yeah. Are you going to use your mic? That's what happens when it's snowing. Isn't that a hammock? I haven't either. Okay, I was like, ooh, that's really fast.
This is the thank you for having such great fellowship music.
Come thou fount of every blessing, tune my heart to sing thy grace. Streams of mercy never ceasing, call for songs of loudest praise. Teach me some melodious sonnet sung by flaming fixed upon it, Mount of God's unchanging love. I was lost in utter darkness. I was trapped in toxic shame. I was bound by my religion till I chose to make a change. Now I'm finding my true colors. For the first time I feel free. Now I'm learning self-compassion. As I heal, I'm finding peace. I kept others at a distance, those who live life differently, saw the world in right or wrong, but they're all human, just like me. I stepped out and love expanded, ascended and melted away. Beauty found in every difference. As I listen, I'm amazed. I saw danger in my questions. I took captive all my thoughts. Certainty was my salvation till I questioned what was taught. Now my eyes are wide in wonder, mine set free now to discern. I might not have all the answers, but I have all this life to learn. blessing. Tune our hearts to sing your grace. Rivers flowing, never ending, call for songs of loudest praise. Teach us harmonies of wonder, born of love and Spirit's flame. Praise the source, our hearts upon it, source of God's eternal name.
So the announcements today for today are: what are you thinking? On Google Meet, and then drop in Enneagram group in room 209. The deconstruction drop in at Doug's house, and then the 23rd is trivia night and dinner at the Ridge, and then January 25th is life story group formation. Again on the 25th, the fourth Sunday coffee hour, and then the first is donate winter men's clothing, which we are collecting men's winter clothing items, including pants, shirts, belts, underwear, and socks, to donate. And then if you wanted to donate financially, you could go to the Give page on the website or the app and select the events drop-down option. And then, also, you can, on the first, you can join others. You can join with others who are seeking ways to approach complex family dynamics through an honest, authentic, and non-reactive approach. And that's in the meditation room on the first. A few more copies of Sue's book on the Beatitudes are still available in the lobby. Feel free to take one if you haven't yet. And if you missed anything or want to dive deeper, you can find out one of 3 ways in the app, on the website, or in the weekly email.
Let's give it up for Carol, first-time liturgist. Well done. Thank you, Carol. Because I was out a couple of weeks ago, and anyway, let's just say a few things shifted in some ways that we didn't think about. There was no big announcement from the front of the room about everything that's going on the rest of this winter and into spring. This is a flyer. If you don't have it, there are plenty of them in the lobby, and Jen would really like you to pick up these flyers, because Jen did a beautiful job and she got them printed for you. And if you take this home, put it on your refrigerator, or just put it somewhere where you can see what's going on this year, right through, it looks through March or so. So we have so much stuff going on. You'll want to check this out. Again, remember, we're doing some things differently around here after the transition from Kate to Ashley in terms of running the app and all of the events that are going on. So the more informed you can be, the more engaged you can be, and the more you can take advantage of all the opportunities that we have at Common Thread to grow and be in community with each other. So, invite you to do that. And let's take a few moments now to arrive, not just in this room, but within ourselves. Take a few slow breaths. Long, gentle inhales. And long, slow, full exhales. So let your jaw relax and your shoulders soften. Feel your weight in the chair beneath you. Stack your spine, no effort required, just stack your spine and let gravity hold you. Go ahead and rest your hands in your lap or on the table. Just let yourself be held. I invite you to bring your attention to your feet. Notice where they are. Notice that they are here. And just see if you can sense the quiet aliveness in your feet. These feet of yours have carried you into places that have felt aligned and into places that haven't. They've taken you toward what you long for and sometimes away from what you know is true. Always, if we are willing, if we are awake, our feet are also what bring us back. It doesn't matter how far away from yourself you have wandered. This morning, the invitation is to turn around, to come. Whoever you are, wherever you've been, come home. Come again. Come.
Wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, oh come, come, whoever you are. This isn't a caravan of despair. Come, come, whoever you are. Wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, oh come, come, whoever you are. This isn't a caravan of despair. It doesn't matter if you've broken your vows 1,000 times before, and yet again, come again, come again, come, come, whoever you are. Wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, oh come, come, whoever you are. This isn't a caravan of despair. Come, come, whoever you are. Wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, oh come, come, whoever you are. This isn't a caravan of despair. It doesn't matter if you've broken your vows 1,000 times before, and yet again, come again, come again, come, come, whoever you are. Wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, oh come, come, whoever you are. This isn't a caravan of despair. Come, come, whoever you are. Wanderer, worshiper, lover of a caravan of despair. It doesn't matter if you've broken your vows 1,000 times before, and yet again. Come again, come again, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, oh come, whoever you are, the season to caravan of despair, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, oh come, whoever you are, the season to caravan of despair. It doesn't matter if you've broken your vows 1,000 times before, and yet again, come again, come again, come again, come again, come again, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, oh come, whoever you are, the season to caravan of despair, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, oh come, whoever you are, the season to caravan of despair. It doesn't matter if you've broken your vows 1,000 times before, and yet again, come again, come again, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, oh come, whoever you are, the season to caravan of despair, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, oh come, whoever you are, the season to caravan of despair. It doesn't matter if you've broken your vows 1,000 times before, and yet again, come again, come again, come.
So last week we stood together in the waters of baptism. Not literally, not in Doug's swimming pool. But I did get a request to keep that bowl of water present throughout this series, and so it is in the back, and if you do want to create your own ritual with the water, it's there today, just so you know. But those waters of baptism we stepped into were spiritual, and we named something that is both very old and very simple: you belong. You are beloved before you do anything right, and you are beloved just as much when you do anything wrong. Baptism, as we talked about it, isn't about earning divine favor or proving anything. It's about remembering something our bodies are always prone to forget. It's a way of coming back into alignment with what is already true about us, that we live inside a field of love even when we don't feel it. Which would have made today's lectionary gospel reading feel a little jarring had I chosen to read it. But I didn't read it this morning because most of it is just about Jesus gathering followers and a bit of rambling from John the Baptist. It's not that interesting. But John's very first line is spoken right after Jesus comes up out of the river. John looks at Jesus and he says, "Here is the Lamb of God who takes away the sin of the world." And that line lands with a little bit of a thud for a lot of us. I mean, we were just talking about belovedness and belonging last week, and suddenly we're back in the language of sin, which feels very much not like belovedness and belonging. Now, for many people, that word carries a whole freight train of old religious baggage. Confessionals, priests, whispered secrets, shame, fear, being told you're broken, being told you need to be fixed, having to say a bunch of Hail Marys as penance. And I suspect that a lot of us came to Common Thread precisely because we wanted to get some distance from that whole world of shame and brokenness and original sinfulness. So if you feel a little clenching in your gut when you hear that phrase, you're not alone. But if we are serious about being human together, really human, not just polite or spiritually impressive, then belovedness has to be more than an interior feeling. It has to be embodied, lived, something we know how to return to when we lose our way. The sacrament of baptism tells us who we are, and confession is the next sacrament in that same story. The practice our tradition at its best turns to when we forget, when something in us or between us has gone off course. Not to shame us, not to threaten us, but to make a way back home. And that's why we're going to sit with that uncomfortable phrase today, the sin of the world, and talk about confession, not in the old shaming way, but as a human, relational practice of return. Now, for a long time now, we've said that our self-awareness practice here at Common Thread is our way of reclaiming the ancient practice of confession, and in many ways that's been very true. We were trying to say we don't believe in shaming people, but we do believe in taking our inner lives seriously. We don't believe in groveling, but we do believe in honesty. We don't believe in pretending we're fine when we're not. But we do believe in doing the work of becoming more whole. So we built a practice that helps us do that. And at its heart, especially if you are not familiar with this practice yet, self-awareness is about interrupting our automatic mechanical patterns, right? It's about pausing instead of reacting. It's about slowing down enough to check in, to notice what's actually happening inside us, in our bodies, in our emotions, in the stories we are telling ourselves. It asks gentle but brave questions. What just happened? What am I feeling? What's getting activated in me? What do I need right now? Have I felt this before? Is there a pattern here? Sometimes this practice is as simple as pausing and taking a few breaths to notice what's happening in us. Sometimes it's sitting down with the worksheet and doing a deeper dive. Often it includes meeting with a listener, another human being who isn't there to fix you or judge you, but to hold calm space, reflect what they hear, and help you stay present when things get tender. And I want to be really clear about this. This core practice here in our community is holy work. It is the kind of work that changes people. It's changed me. I did a worksheet just last week, in fact, and had one of those profound aha revelations about myself. This practice helps us become less reactive, less defended, less trapped inside our old stories. It softens shame. It makes us kinder to ourselves. And when we are kinder to ourselves, we are almost always kinder to the people around us. In that way, self-awareness does something incredibly important. Instead of being driven by our parts and our types, by our fear, our old wounds or compulsive patterns we don't even realize we're carrying, it helps us come back into alignment with our truer selves. And when we are faithful to this practice, that alone prevents a lot of harm before it even happens. And still, somewhere along the way, I began to feel a small nudge of discomfort around speaking of our self-awareness practice as a direct reclamation of the ancient practice of confession. Because the truth is, not everything we bring into self-awareness is about having done something wrong. Sometimes it's about being hurt. Sometimes it's about being triggered. Sometimes it's old trauma rising up in a new moment. Sometimes it's just an emotion moving through us for reasons we don't yet understand. And that is deeply necessary work, but it is also not quite the same thing as what is historically meant by confession. Because confession, at least in the Christian tradition, has never been primarily about self-understanding. It has always been about breach. The moment we know we have crossed a line, turned away from something true, or broken faith with love, either with another person or within ourselves. Self-awareness helps us see what is happening. Confession is what we reach for when we know something real has been broken. And early last fall, just as I was pondering the distinctions and what we might do about that here at Common Thread, clarity came to me swiftly and quite unexpectedly in the person of my friend Christy. As most of you know, Christy is the leader of our self-awareness practice. And one morning she called me to ask a very unexpected question. Would you hear my confession? Not, can I talk something through? Not, I did a worksheet and now I need a listener, but would you hear my confession? And this both came as a surprise and was absolutely something I was keen to offer my friend if she was asking. I mean, I'd never done it before. But I was raised Catholic, so I knew the drill. And within the hour, Christy came over to my house. I put on a stole. Because you see, when a clergy person hears something someone says in confession, we call it keeping it under the stole, which is a sacred covenant where we are bound to never speak a word of the details to anyone. Then we sat out on my back deck, and she began by saying words I certainly did not expect to hear. Bless me, Mother, for I have sinned. It was really tender. And then she shared her confession. Christy in that moment wasn't holding what she told me with curiosity. She didn't want to self-reflect. She was overwhelmed with profound sorrow, with searing regret. She was aching with the deep knowing that she had made choices that had harmed herself, and that harm perhaps had consequences that would ripple out. She had set aside the truth of who she was and allowed something else to take over, and she didn't want to carry this breach alone. In fact, she no longer wanted to carry it at all. When she was done, I did what most of us do when we're sitting with someone in pain. I tried to comfort her. I reminded her of her goodness, her courage, her belovedness, and she stopped me, looked me right in the eyes and said, "No, I need absolution." So I obeyed. I stood up. I put my hands on her head, and without even being very conscious of the words I spoke, because I believe they came from somewhere much deeper than me, they came out. I absolve you from your sin. You are forgiven, and you are beloved. And something shifted. I can't really explain it any other way. The air felt different. Christy's body softened. Mine did too. It was as if something that had been blocking the flow no longer had anything to hold on to. Something had been named, carried, and released into that larger field of love. And in that moment on my back deck, without anyone having to analyze or explain it, a distinction became clear. Self-awareness helps us see what's happening inside us, but it can't restore the field of connection on its own. Confession is where we turn when we know something real has been damaged between us and another, or between us and our true selves, when what's been broken needs to be named and tended and restored to wholeness. And this can only happen in relationship. The ancient word that holds all of this, both the ancient practice of confession and our contemporary practice of self-awareness, is metanoia. And this Greek word is often translated as repent, but that doesn't mean beating ourselves up. It means a turning, a reorientation, a coming home. And that turning can be called for in different ways, in different kinds of situations where harm occurs. You know, sometimes we cause harm in good faith, but with a kind of blindness, yeah? We act with care, with integrity, even with love, and it still hurts someone. You speak honestly thinking it will help, and it lands in a really aching place. You make a choice that seems like the right one, but it brings up grief for someone else. Nothing immoral has happened, but something has been felt. Something is off. In these circumstances, impact trumps intent, and that calls for apology, empathy, listening, forgiveness, restoration of relationship, a turning toward. I didn't mean to hurt you, and I see that I did. Sometimes the harm is necessary. You set a boundary, you tell a hard truth, or you hold a truth because someone isn't ready to hear it. And that silence begins to ripple through the space between you, a sense that something is being kept at bay, stirring fear and confusion. Even when it's done with care, it can hurt. And it can cost someone. There's loss, there's sadness, there's disappointment. That kind of harm doesn't call for confession or even apology necessarily. But it does call for honesty, compassion, repair, and often a shared grief, a willingness to honor what's been lost instead of pretending it didn't matter. And then there is another kind of harm, the kind Christy was carrying, the kind we all know if we're honest. This is when we act from fear, ego, self-protection, or self-betrayal. When we miss the mark in a way that breaks something real between us and someone else, or between us and our deeper knowing, this is not just pain, this is breach. Something in the field of connection gets torn. And that kind of rupture is what the tradition, in its deepest knowing, is pointing at when it uses the word sin. Not as a moral label, not as a verdict on your worth, but as a name for disconnection. Sin is what it feels like when we step out of alignment with love, when we abandon something true in ourselves and let fear or protection or pride take the wheel, and something sacred between us gets bruised. And when that happens, it doesn't just live inside us, it lives between us, in the space where belonging used to flow. That's why not every kind of harm calls for confession, but this kind does. Because when the fabric of relationship is torn, between us or within us, it can't be mended by insight alone. Confession is naming the breach. It's saying out loud to another human being, something went wrong here. I missed the mark. I acted from fear instead of love, and I caused harm. Which is why the church at its best has also called this the sacrament of reconciliation. Because something between us or within us has been torn, and reconciling is what makes a way back. And that's what Christy was reaching for when she asked for absolution. A release from guilt, yes, but more than that. A way back into wholeness. A way to be reconciled with herself, with love, with the truth of who she is. And that's where we might even begin to see, believe it or not, the usefulness of sin. See, a few centuries before any of this language hardened into rules or doctrines, a medieval mystic named Julian of Norwich was sitting in her cell having a series of visions, and what she kept being shown was not a God obsessed with punishing wrongdoing, but a God endlessly bent toward restoration. In one of her most startling insights, Julian said that sin is behovely, which is an archaic word that means necessary or useful. Not because harm is good and not because suffering is holy, but because of what happens next. First the fall, she said, and then the rising from the fall, and both are the mercy of God. In other words, God doesn't dispense mercy. Mercy is the field we live inside. The falling happens there. The forgiving happens there. And we become aware of that mercy when we recognize our misalignment and allow ourselves to be restored. And suddenly that strange phrase from John the Baptist begins to sound different. Here is the Lamb of God who takes away the sin of the world. Not as condemnation, not as punishment transferred, but as removal. As whatever is lifted so that love can move again, so that what has been blocked can begin to flow. Whatever it is that knots the connection, clogs the field, what makes us forget how to turn. Because this is what Jesus was always doing when he kept saying, repent. What he was actually saying was, wake up, turn around, turn around. Not feel terrible, not hate yourself, but the way is clear now. Come home. And this is why confession and absolution are not heavy things. They are freeing things. When something true has been named, when what was hidden no longer has to be carried alone, when the way is cleared, when the words "you still belong" are spoken out loud, something loosens inside us. Confession and absolution are how we stop being trapped inside what we did and start coming back to who we truly are. And this is where our self-awareness practice comes back into the picture. Not as a replacement for confession, but as its best possible companion. Self-awareness is what helps us notice when something is off, the patterns, the fears, the old stories that keep pulling us out of alignment. And confession is what can heal when that noticing tells the truth about where we've missed the mark. Sometimes self-awareness is enough. Sometimes it leads us to the door of confession and reconciliation, where what we've seen can finally be released, forgiven, and made new. And sometimes, after we're forgiven, self-awareness is what helps us understand ourselves more gently and more honestly, so we don't have to keep breaking in the same places again. Which means this just can't stay abstract. It has to live somewhere. It has to be held by real people in real moments of truth. Listeners in our self-awareness practice and confessors in our practice of confession. And yes, I am always willing to hear your confession under the stole, whether or not it's a literal stole. You can get on my calendar and I will hold that space with you with all the care and reverence it deserves. But truly, this is something we all can offer to each other. We all can be confessors whenever we are brave enough to tell the truth and loving enough to stay. Every time you listen without shaming, every time you say, I hear you, and you still belong, every time a breach is named and love is allowed back in, absolution is happening. Metanoia is not a ritual. It's a living, breathing sacrament that can happen all the time, anywhere, anytime two people are willing to light the way back home again. And that's really what this whole sacramental arc is about. Not perfection, not spiritual performance, not ways of getting God into us, but creating spaces in our homes, in our hearts, and in this community where metanoia is always possible. Baptism says you belong before anything happens. Confession says you still belong after something has gone wrong. And reconciliation is what makes that belonging tangible again in the space between us. When we lose our way, when we forget who we are invited to remember our belovedness, and we are welcomed back home. So I want to invite us now into a very simple practice of communal confession and reconciliation. Not a list of everything you've done wrong, just a moment of remembering. So I invite you to close your eyes if that feels comfortable. Feel your feet on the floor. Take one slow breath in and one slow breath out. And just notice, gently, honestly, is there anywhere in your life right now where something feels out of alignment? A place where you know you missed the mark. A place where something between you and another, or between you and yourself, feels a little torn. You don't have to go digging for this, just let whatever's already there be there. And in the quiet of your own heart, you might simply say, this is where I forgot. This is where I want to turn back. This is how I want to remember. Today, I want to be free. And now hear this. You are held. You are free from what binds you. You are forgiven, and you are beloved.
You liberate me from my own noise and my own chaos, from the chains of a lesser law. You set me free. you liberate me from my own noise and my own chaos, from the chains of a lesser law. You set me free. In the silence of the heart, you speak. In the silence of the heart, you speak. And it is there that I will know you, and you will know me. In the silence of the heart, you speak, the silence of the heart, the silence of the heart. Oh, you satisfy me till I am quiet and confident. Oh, in the work of the Spirit, I cannot see. You satisfy me, yeah, till I am quiet and confident. Oh, in the work of the Spirit, I cannot see. In the silence of the heart, you speak, yeah. In the silence of the heart, you speak. And it is there that I will know you, and you will know me. In the silence of the heart, you speak, the silence of the heart. Ooh, in the silence of the heart, in the silence of my heart, in the silence of my heart. Whoa, whoa. In the silence of my heart. Whoa, whoa. In the silence of my heart. Whoa, whoa. It's there that I will know you, and you will know me. In the silence of my heart, you speak. In the silence of my heart, you speak. In the silence of the heart, the silence of my heart. Ooh, it's there that I will know you. In the silence of my heart, you speak.
Before we dismiss the folks on the live stream, I just want to thank Christy for her generosity and her courage in allowing me to tell such a tender story and to be my teacher. Thank you. Folks on the live stream, so glad that you were able to join us this morning. And special hello to those of you who are like, I'm not coming to church today. You live in Raleigh and it's just too cold and rainy and you didn't want to be here, so you're hanging out on the couch. We felt you here in spirit. We're about to do something here in the room that you are invited to participate in an online version of called What Are You Thinking, Sensing, and Feeling? And during that time, we're going to talk about the lesson. We'll talk about the service. We'll talk about what's going on in our lives, what's going on in the world. And you can join some folks who are going to do that online too. So if you click the link below this video, you will see a link that says, What are you thinking? It'll take you to a Google Meet. I think there's a code to get in, and if so, that code would be 1417. There's no code. Okay, I don't have to say that anymore. Oh, it's so great. No code to get in. Thank you, Jen. Just join. We're letting everybody come in, all the riffraff. Which the folks who are on that call will love to have anybody come in and talk with them. So feel free to join and connect with our remote community. Some of the best people I know are waiting to spend some time with you. And if you are not interested in doing that this morning, or you're watching it another time during the week, but you're new and you're curious, you're like, this is a weird little church, I want to know more about it. There's a link below that one. You can click on that link and we will send you, again, another zero pressure email about us, not unlike the one that Carol mentioned earlier for our newcomers, but this one has some remote specificity to it. So feel free to click that and we would love to send you that email. And with that, friends in the room, can we put one hand on our hearts and dismiss our friends on the live stream, remembering that the divine is within us, and that the fruit of the Spirit is in us, and forgiveness, and all of the possibilities for reconciliation when we miss the mark and we go off course are there. And so may we walk into this week when those moments hit us, being willing to be softened and forgiven, or when others miss the mark in a way that hurts us, being willing to forgive. Let's take these soft hearts out into the world, and let's go ahead and extend our other hand to our city and our world, remembering to bring what is in us to everyone with whom we live, with whom we work, with whom we go to school, everyone we bump into on the street, taking seriously, as we do each week, our charge to be healers and repairers of our world. Amen. Folks on the live stream, God bless you. You are dismissed. And friends in the room, I just invite you to spend a few moments getting in touch with what you are sensing and feeling before we talk about what we're thinking.